Welcome to this episode of Rock Talk with Jackie Neal. I had the opportunity to talk with my beloved brother, Michael Neal. He has been a musician, a singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist for most of his life, and he got a serendipitous opportunity in 1992 to record a song with the late honky-tonk king Gary Stewart and his friend Joey Floyd. Now, you may remember Joey was Willie Nelson's son in the movie Honeysuckle Rose. He went on to do solo work, was a great singer, was a wonderful guitar player. He also played in the late Toby Keith's band for a long time. Now, Gary and Joey have passed away, but my brother Mike, this has been a labor of love that has spanned decades. He has worked on this song and had other musicians work with him on this song, and this version just came out on streaming, and we're going to talk to him about that. So we are talking with Mike Neal, who back in 1992 got a rare opportunity to record a song with the late Joey Floyd and also the late Gary Stewart. Now, it has just been published, available on most streaming platforms. Thanks for joining us, Brother Mike.
So glad to be with you, sis.
You had known Joey Floyd. He and his parents, they had a house at Eagle Mountain Lake, and you and Linda lived in Azle, and you had built your own studio, and let's kind of go from there.
I think we moved to Azle in about 1981, and soon after I built that studio, slow process, was building it myself. I guess around 83 is when I was able to go over there and start working on the studio, but it was called Deep Well Sound Recording Studio. About 1992, I don't remember the exact day, but it was around that time, Joey Floyd, we had become friends. Let me kind of get a backstory on that. My daughters were going to the Azle High School there, and one of their classmates was Terry Bayless, who was a keyboard player. He was maybe a year or two older than my oldest daughter, Molly. Molly and Rachel are my daughters. I got to know Terry because he came out and played at a restaurant that my wife Linda and I were managing. It was called Pelican Bay Restaurant in Pelican Bay, Texas, not far from where we live. Terry came out and played with the little group he was playing with, and I saw what a great keyboard player he was. And later on, got to be friends with him, and he played on quite a few recordings that I did in the studio with me and other performers. So he started playing with a band called El Dorado, which had Joey and Jill Floyd in it. Jill was Joey's sister, who also toured with Joey along with Willie, right after Joey did Honeysuckle Rose. Joey and Jill started touring with Willie, so they were real good friends with Willie after that. Joey was infamous for that part, and plus he was a great guitar player, great singer. Since Terry was playing in El Dorado with him, well, I became friends with Joey. Joey had that place out by the lake with his dad. One night he called, asked if he could come over and just jam a little bit. I said, sure. Later on he came over. There was Gary Stewart with him. You know, I didn't recognize him because he was dressed so casually. After he told me who he was, man, it just floored me, you know, because I really loved his music. You know, we partied around a little bit and then got to recording, and this song came out of it. It was a song that Gary had written, I guess, years earlier, but it was always in transformation. Lyrics changing, beat changing, just about everything changed in the song. There was another version by Mike and the Moon Pies of it that was in 2/4 time, the old country two-step beat, but this one is in 6/8 time, the one that he did. It's real slow, real soulful. It's called I'm Guilty. I don't know who he wrote the song about, but I have a feeling it was for his wife that he lost. I heard their love affair was just very deep and very strong, and we did lay that song down. Joey played a fantastic guitar on that. Gary's vocal was just the most emotional, heartfelt thing I ever heard. I just can't wait for people to hear this song because just the emotion in Gary's voice is just overwhelming, really.
You play harmonica, and then you also put in the lap steel part later. That lap steel and harmonica just intertwines with Gary's voice. It's just almost like those three elements become one in this song. It just really works.
Yeah, man, I thank you for saying that. You're being a good sister there. Thank you.
No, I'm just telling the truth from a music standpoint. You did a lot on this song song and worked with people adding more elements into this song through the years. So let's talk about that, because you became friends with Wayne Widener, and then tell us how Mastertone came about, the recording studio, and then we'll talk about Randy and Joe Tacky and all the things that came together to make this version of the song that's streaming now, and it is really magical.
After I recorded it in Hazel in 92, I would listen to it occasionally and wonder what to do about it. Well, at that time, Gary was still alive and Joey was still alive. I just kind of kept it on the back burner. And then after they both passed on, Linda and I moved to Graham, Texas, and I was lucky enough to meet my good friend Wayne Widener at his music store here in Graham. I was over there buying some strings from him and told him that had a studio in Hazel. I was looking to do some single act stuff in Graham. And so he said, well, I've got a studio right now. So he invited me over to it. It was right across his music store there. So I went over and looked at it. I'd never done digital recording before. I was always reel to reel. And I told him, I said, I couldn't do this stuff. He said, well, I can teach you if you want to. He said, there was a guy working there with him then, and his fate would have it, in about 2 weeks later, he called me up and he said, that guy has to move on, so would you like to come start working in the studio? So I said, well, sure. Wayne is a great guy, good friend. Through the years, we've really had some great times and good recordings. Anyway, he taught me how to do the digital recording, and it's Cubase. He's a Yamaha dealer.
Okay.
At his music store. So he gets some good deals on recording apps and stuff like that. So
Cubase is a Yamaha editing and producing program.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Because I think you and I have talked about in all of we bore Linda to death talking about our technical stuff and our digital stuff. But I've always worked with either Cool Edit and now Adobe Audition. I've never worked with Cubase. All I know is, as we've talked about, for me, digital was a game changer, because working with reel-to-reel and splicing blocks and splicing tape, that's where I really honed my cussing abilities, was working with reel-to-reel, because I never got it right, not once. The guy that I worked with, who's now my brother-in-law, he was just a magician with splicing, and he would go, look, dude, you just go splice it, tape it, and it's and I would go, okay, splice, tape, and it would be the most jacked up Frankenstein version of an edit. And digital editing and digital recording, oh my God, I love it. I think I've been able to have my career this long because of digital recording and digital editing, and I think you feel similar.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm a cut and paste freak, man.
I am too, because it is just so easy. Now, we have the story on Mastertone, and so you're in Graham, and then how did this song keep evolving? Because you later put in your lap steel part at Mastertone, and then let's talk about Randy Brownlow, because you were in the Hopeless Romantics with him, adding the piano part. Let's just talk about how the song, the way it is now, how it's streaming today, evolved, and how all that happened.
Wayne and I, for years, I would say more than 10 years, tried to search out people who were connected with Gary Stewart, his production companies, his record company, his family, just anybody that we could get in touch with, and were never successful in any of those endeavors. I had a buddy, John David Bartlett. I played in a band called the Fort Worth Cats back in the late 70s, early 80s, was when we were doing our hot gigging at the time. We did a 4-song EP, and John David Bartlett produced it. He told me he was somewhere down the line that he was forming a production company, and so I called him one day just out of the blue. Well, he was working on remastering the Cats EP and going to put it out again for streaming. I called him and asked him what he thought about this Gary Stewart song. So he got interested in it. He was partners with Joe Tacky at Cloudland Studio there in Fort Worth. Wayne and I went down there, talked it over, agreed to let them have some friends of the studio there, of Joe's, Peter Wawringa and Jaden Oliver, overdubbed the drums and organ on that song. But before that, let me go back to Randy Brownlow. I played with him in a band in Graham called the Hopeless Romantics, kind of a dinner combo. I guess that's an old word there. We would play at restaurants and play really quietly while people ate.
But y'all were amazing. In fact, y'all's CD you put out, I listen to it every time I'm on a road trip. It is so good.
I'm surprised you don't go to sleep on the road listening to it.
Oh, man, I love it. Poncho and Lefty and King of the Road. And then also your voice, y'all's version of Autumn Leaves is just mesmerizing to me. I love it.
Well, thank you. It was a fun little recording. But Randy Brownlow had played with the Maines brothers out of Lubbock, I believe is where they're from.
Yep.
And they had made a big name for themselves, really.
How did you come to know Randy Brownlow then? Did he and his wife move to Graham?
Yes, they moved to Graham. I don't even really remember how I got his number, but we got connected some way a few years ago, and we got a little band together.
Because he played the piano part on I'm Guilty.
Yes, he did. I got him to come out and, put the piano part on it. Let me tell you this. I called Randy the other day and told him that the song had dropped on streaming. I said, man, your part made the song as far as I'm concerned. It just brought it all together. He said, well, I don't really remember what I did, but all I know is I play some stuff and I hope it works. And if it's not working, I try to switch it up real fast to make it work. I said, well, you're a master at that, my friend.
Yes, well, he is definitely a keyboard aficionado. He is amazing. Yes. You added Randy Brownlow, and then at Cloudland, Peter and Jaden. And so then all the elements came together. When did the finished product happen?
After those guys put their parts down, the organ and the drums, well, Joe and John David mixed it. Joe doing the studio work and John David doing like the production stuff. And so I guess it was late in 24 that it finally got finished.
Super recent then. The song was finalized late last year. And so then how did it come about it would even be available for streaming?
Well, Singing Heart Productions is John David and Joe Tacky, and they're partners with another guy named DJ. And so they are the ones that are putting the song out. And we have Smith Music in Fort Worth that is putting it out to all the streaming companies.
Well, and y'all have some help. Gary Stewart, he grew up in Florida, but he was born in Kentucky, and he was inducted into the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame last year. Our cousin, Neal Sluter, he is the chairman of the board for the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame, and Jessica Blankenship is the director of the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame and also the Rockcastle County Tourism Bureau. Now, she actually took the song to the country radio seminar this spring in Nashville and got that song out via a QR code for streaming. And so that is how the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame played a part in getting the word out about this Gary Stewart song, because he is a Kentucky boy originally. It's available on Amazon, Spotify, YouTube. In fact, I think the link you put on your Facebook page, Brother Mike, is YouTube. So the song is available, and it's Gary Stewart, I'm Guilty. All these people that participated on it have made it a true masterpiece. It is just an incredible song, and I think you really honor the king of honky tonk, the late, beautiful, soulful Gary Stewart.
Oh, thank you, sis. That's very sweet of you. I wanted to add this to the mix here. When you order the song off of streaming, there's an A and a B side to it. The A side is called I'm Guilty 2024. The B side is I'm Guilty 1992. The 2024 is with all the instruments on it. The 1992 is the original, just what was there at the Hazel studio, me, Gary, and Joy. So there was a little confusion there where you're thinking about going in and changing it to I'm Guilty A side, I'm Guilty B side, kind of to avoid the confusion. So just thought I might throw that in there for anybody that's listening.
when I ordered mine from Amazon, when it did download on April 11th, because like I said, I pre-ordered it, both were there, the A side and the B side.
You get the radio version with the 2024 version.
Yes. And of course, everybody, I'm going to tell you, do yourself a favor and check it out. And Brother Mike, thank you so much for talking with us about it. And I will also have a link in the description of the podcast. It'll be easy peasy for you to check that out. And Brother Mike, we're going to stop this portion of the interview, and then we're going to pick back up with part 2, just talking about you and your extensive music career. And I want to thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, sis. Bye-bye.
And my brother Mike and I wanted to leave you with the 2024 version of Gary Stewart's I'm Guilty, available on all streaming platforms. Thank you so much for tuning in to Rock Talk with Jackie Neal. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a review.
Darling, if you could only see yourself through these eyes of mine, then I know you would understand my crime. You'd see an ocean of emotions I'm trying to hold back. If I don't, they'll kill me. I stand accused of loving you, and I'm guilty. I'd love to lay and hold you on a bed of down and roses beneath some southern starlit sky, or a summer rainy afternoon, any place on God's earth, just me and you. For I stand accused of loving you, oh, and I'm guilty. Yes, I'm guilty of loving you. Oh, and honey, that's the honest truth. Oh, my fantasy, the sweet ecstasy. Honey, if you only knew just what you did to me. So I stand back and stare from afar, for I know my eyes would show the heat of the fire. I stand accused of loving you, oh, and I'm guilty. Yes, I'm guilty of loving you, found guilty of life's the honest truth. Oh, my fantasy, the sweet ecstasy. Honey, if you only knew just what you did to me. So I stand back and stare from afar, for I know my eyes would show the heat of the fire. I stand accused of loving you, oh, and I'm guilty. I stand accused of loving you, oh, found guilty.